Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A video, answer segment type of video leading up to the second half of The Walking Dead Season 6. In this one, the first question is going to be, which do I think is going to end first, The Walking Dead television series or the comic book series? Okay, and of course I want to thank you guys for continuing to send me lots of questions. Not too long now. We got a few weeks left. A little bit over a few weeks. Excited as always, of course. Can't wait for the return of The Walking Dead Season 6. So a bunch of questions from you guys. Keep sending me what you got, and I'll keep making videos for you guys as much as I can. So first one here. This was from James Campbell, and he asked one to know what my thoughts are on which series is going to end first, The Walking Dead comic book series or The Walking Dead television series. So for this one, I think he means in terms of I think in terms of real world time. So he doesn't mean like, which if the Walking Dead comic book series will go on further in the story than the television series will, or something of the sort like that. I think it's which is gonna finish first in terms of real world time. So I think it's a great question, and I want you guys to write your comments below on what you think is going to end first, which one you think is going to last longer. For me personally, I feel like there's more things that could go wrong with the TV series. So I feel like the TV series is probably going to be, out of the two, the one that ends sooner. I think that the comic book series, man, it just seems to me like it's going to be a lock for so long. I mean, it's already been over 10 years easy. I think it's probably closer to 11 or 12 years now. And it seems like there's no end in sight. Whereas with the TV series, you have a lot of actors involved, actresses, production crew, different people. It's just such a huge production that I feel like the comic book series could be the one to last longer out of the two. But that's just me. I think it's going to go on for a really, really long time. And I think that Kirkman cares more about the comic book series because, of course, he created that 100%. Whereas with the television series, my understanding is that actually it was Frank Darabont's idea to make the TV series, and then he brought it, to Kirkman, got him on board. Gale and Hurd, I think, got involved, and they checked around for different networks. HBO didn't want it, and they found AMC, and AMC did want it. So that's what happened with that. So it's kind of like the original comic book series is his baby. So I think he'll be probably good to go with that longer than the television series, which has a lot more things going on. So great question from James. Want to include that one. And write your comments below on what you guys think, and which series you think is going to last longer, TV or comic book. I'm going to go with comic book. Next question is from Andrew Bannan, and he says, Trav, do you think we'll ever see or do you think ever since the governor was killed that Rick has slowly taken on certain characteristics of the governor, / do you think there are similarities between the two as of season 6? Would love to hear your thoughts. Well, I love in season 5 when, Rick brings it up to the others. He's like, if they can't, we'll just take this place. And that's so governor, so cold. It's so governor-esque to be like, okay, well, if they don't, if they can't catch up, if they can't figure it out, then we'll just take over. That's it. That is so uncharacteristic of the old Rick from way earlier on in the series, where he's trying to help everybody, he's trying to save everybody, he's trying to do all that. And it's just not realistic that you can be everybody's hero in a zombie apocalypse. So I do like how he's taken on so many characteristics of the governor. And I loved in season 4's finale, was it in the train cart when, one of his eyes gets darked out. Like when he's looking, it looks really dark. And it's so governor-esque because it's like the patch, and it looks just like that. I love that one a lot. I don't know if it was deliberate or it wasn't. I thought it was deliberate. But you never know. Sometimes we read into stuff so much that we take a meaning from something, or we think something's an Easter egg when it's not even. I've done it before myself. People love to correct me and be like, Trev, you said this and it wasn't true. This kind of thing. My videos are not meant to be perfect. I do the best I can, but consider that most of my videos are shot at 3 a.m. in the morning. Trying to get videos done for you guys every day. So, it is what it is. But my opinion my opinion is of your question, Andrew, yeah, he's taken on a lot of characteristics of the governor. He's very similar, especially when he's beating up different characters and stuff like that, or just killing people and stuff, where earlier on Rick definitely wouldn't have been so trigger happy. That said, though, in season 2, David Toy in the bar, he was pretty trigger happy there. There wasn't a lot of hesitation, even at that point. But that was after Sophia was killed in that, so he was not in a good mood. That's for sure. Next one's from David Bunting, and he says, "Hey, Trev, in season 3, Morgan says to Rick, he writes he is quote unquote man wearing dead people's skin." So, okay, so we've talked about this in the past. We're going to go through this real quick, David. Basically, my opinion of this at this time: did Morgan run into the Whispers before we see them? My opinion is no. I think that was kind of Morgan just doing his crazy talk, that kind of deal. Because we know, especially now after season 6, and we've seen what he's been through. He's been through some crazy shit. He's kind of lost his mind. His super ego has shut off. He's gone full on animal. He's gone full on id here, and he's killing people. He's doing whatever he needs to survive, even people that he shouldn't kill or he shouldn't even do anything with. He has very little empathy towards others left. In the reality principle of his ego. So he's very, very, animalistic at that point. I don't think he's making any sense of what's going on around him. Barely couldn't even recognize Rick. So no, I don't think that's the case. I think he was just him kind of being crazy. But we've talked about that before. So there's kind of an update if you guys wanted to hear my updated thoughts on that after the first half of season 6. Next one's from Jordan Long, and he says, "Hey Trev, can you do a video on your least favorite parts of The Walking Dead? It could be the dialogue or the scenes or the actors playing the role of the character or characters. And please answer this question," he says. So that's from Jordan Long. So for you, Jordan, just real quick, there's, the series been going for so long now. We're halfway through the 6th season. I love the series. There's very few parts I can pick apart and be like, this sucks or that sucks. I've done videos on top 10 worst episodes. I have to update it. I probably will update it after the second half or maybe before second half starts if I get time. And basically, there's a number of episodes that are weaker in The Walking Dead here and there. A lot of times the second half is like 1 or 2 episodes within the first few that are kind of weak for some reason. Don't know why people have pointed out. Maybe it's because of Super Bowl or sporting events or something of the sort. They know that it's not going to be that big of an episode, so they put in some. I don't know about that. It just seems to work out that way, that one of the episodes in the second half a lot of times ends up being a little slow. This time we had one of the episodes in the first half of season 6 was a little weak. But yeah, it's just, it is what it is. Watch that video if you want to hear which parts I think are the weakest in that and which story. If you're talking about story arcs, maybe like season 4's second half. Season 4 actually is a little weak all around, I think. Even though the first time you see it, it's great. And I really love the sickness stuff the first time. But in terms of replay, it doesn't have much for replay. Aside from Too Far Gone, the whole season is a bit weak, in consideration. Even though I like Joe's group and I liked, Claimed, and I like some of the episodes in there were really exciting the first time you see it. In terms of replay value, season 4 is a bit weak for me. Season 2 has some really weak episodes in the first half, of course. And aside from that, the series is pretty strong most of the way through, aside from one episode here or there, like still. Next one is from CO91 Diabolic, and he says, "Hey Trev, Q&A, always throw in a question about another show during the Walking Dead break. So for this one, what are your thoughts on The Sopranos?" Because we mentioned it the other day. He says, "For me, it's the best TV series ever. The photography, the story, the characters are so profound and real. I think it changed TV forever, opening up the mass concept of anti-hero and making possible for television shows like Breaking Bad, Dexter, Sons of Anarchy, and maybe even Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead to happen. Thanks, Trev. I hope you read this and answer this one." Well, I don't think it has anything to do with Walking Dead. In terms of Game of Thrones, you could make the argument because Game of Thrones is on HBO, and The Sopranos helped make HBO a much bigger network. It's one of the biggest shows of all time, and it's still one. I will be honest with you, I've never seen it all the way through. I've only seen here or there like one episode or two. I love gangster shows. Maybe it's something I can check out before The Walking Dead comes back on, but it's pretty old now, so I don't think many people would be interested in seeing reviews of it. If you guys are, though, let me know right in the comments below what you thought of The Sopranos. I can't really, give much of thoughts on it because I haven't seen it all the way through. But I know that it's infamous in what it is, just like some of these others you mentioned there, Sons of Anarchy and Dexter, Breaking Bad, of course, and Game of Thrones. Dexter, too dark for me. Sons of Anarchy, I tried it, thought it was decent, but never got too into it, even though I know a lot of you guys love SOA, so not to bash it or anything like that. It's not what I'm doing here. It's just that I haven't seen it all the way through. It is what it is. Next one's from Sergeant Mother Dick. He's got a picture of Abraham in his thing. It's pretty funny. He says, hey, Trev, do you think in the show, when the issue 144 events occur, there will be a civil war among people after? I think it would be a very interesting route to go. I thought they might go that route a few issues after, but now I don't think it will happen. I really think this will make for a great story arc because it is something both the show and the comics have never done quite that scale. Just wanted to hear your thoughts. Thanks, and keep up the awesome work. Well, I do like your kind of thoughts on it. I like the idea of kind of the further we get into The Walking Dead, it feels more like Game of Thrones in a lot of ways. You have sword fighting and stuff like that in The Walking Dead. You have the Whisperers that use mostly hand-to-hand weapons. You have bigger groups and kind of backstabbing and things like this, betrayal and that. These are very common themes with Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire. Even though instead of zombies, it actually does have zombies too. It has White Walkers where they kind of possess and raise the dead. So there's a lot of similarities. I love to see, and Game of Thrones has done this the best I've ever seen, kind of a larger scale sort of Civil War type deal where you don't really know what's going to happen if someone's going to try to overthrow someone in power, and just all these different intricate little storylines that come together with lots of different families, lots of different. I think that could fit really well with The Walking Dead, to see what happens maybe when Rick is eventually killed off later on, to see who's going to try to take over, who's trying to assume power, what Negan's going to do. Just all these different things coming together can create a really, really interesting and exciting story and exciting world. So I think we're going to see more of that, because I know Kirkman does like Game of Thrones. He said in interviews before, I can't wait to see my Game of Thrones. He loves Game of Thrones. He loves Song of Ice and Fire. So, I think, seeing a little bit of that in his writing in the comic and TV show would be great. And we'll do one more. This one's from Cigar Nixica, and he says, Trev, do the video, who is the biggest bitch in Game of Thrones? Thank you, like always, for who is the bigger bitch, The Walking Dead versus Kwame did one on that on Chi-Chi and Bulma. Yeah, when we did the collab. So I don't know if that's where you got the idea from. Maybe. But, who's the biggest bitch in the walk? It's kind of, I do have some, I got to be careful with this. I do have some female viewers, my friend. But, okay, so I'm going to go with Dawn. I think Dawn would be a female villain. Alpha's pretty tough in The Walking Dead too, female, if you guys haven't read the comic book. Breaking Bad, we got Skylar. Oh, she takes the cake. She's the worst, man. She's like the worst ever. And then if you're talking Game of Thrones, Cersei's pretty hard to beat. She's pretty tough to beat. But she's scary too. You got to watch out for her, man. She's tough. She's she's tougher than most men in that world would give her credit, but she'll have them executed. So power is power, right? So anyway, I'll call it here for today's. Let me know what you guys thought about all the questions. Write your comments below. Send me more if you guys got more. And if you want to see an update for top 10 worst episodes ever, write in the comments below. PM me. Let me know what's going on, guys. Hope you're having a good one. And of course, we'll talk again soon. Probably a video for you tomorrow or the next day. Got a video coming up with Fred Nader. They asked me to do a talk over for a Walking Dead video for them, so I'm doing that. So when that hits, I'll give you guys a link, let you know, and you can check it out. Doing a collab with them, so that should be fun. Anyway, if you guys like this video, please thumb it up below. If you want to support the channel, you can share, you can favorite, and if you're new, you want to sub, go ahead and sub at the bottom left. That's it for today's. May see you guys again tomorrow. As always, this is Trev. I'm saying peace.